Hello and welcome to the We Are Birmingham podcast. I'm Chris Golding.
I'm Matthew Elliott.
And as ever, we're joined by the vegan. Hi, Dave. How are we doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. As ever, as mostly.
A little bit stressed, are we? What could possibly go wrong with live podcasts? Everything.
Whose idea was it to do this live?
So, just for people that are joining live, we were meant to be starting at 8:30. We were pretty much ready at 8:30, apart from Chewie's camera didn't work, and then the whole stream between us melted down and all sorts of other things.
But it doesn't matter, does it? Because I'll set you up there. Because of last night.
Okay, I thought you were going to play your little video or something.
Well, let's do that again. Then let's pretend that we actually
Go on.
now. Go on then. But it doesn't matter because we should just make like one of those 24-hour loops of that or something.
Stick it on YouTube Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, because promotion is sealed. Championship football again. I mean, it's like the worst kept secret of the season for the last 2 months, 3 months.
Piece of piss.
Yeah.
An actual walk in the park. Some games.
I mean, I'm going to say we were in for a shock with quite how easy it has been, because I think that's that must have been the shock that people were on about.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said for a while, haven't we? We're up. I'd sort of said the other week, lose a few games and we might not be. But in doubt.
No, it's not been in doubt for a long time, has it?
I still think everyone had that in the back of their mind that they'd say it, and then we wouldn't win another game, and losing the playoffs.
It was weird because
the old typical
losing at Wembley twice or something, some shit like
that. So we've had a question come in from, I don't know how you pronounce
already
it. Mzar King or MZA King. Will the championship be this easy?
Yeah.
No, it won't.
It clearly won't be. I mean, I don't. So one thing.
It'd be good if it was.
But, I don't think it's even been easy. Other than games haven't been easy. We've gone into them and we've been pragmatic about the way that we approach them, and that we've broken teams down. And we haven't. I don't think any game has been, or maybe two or three have been particularly easy. But we've just been so professional about it that the season's looked easy overall.
It's all it's all been kind of quite routine, hasn't it? A lot of it. It's like we just gone out, done the job. Professional is the right word, but yeah, it's very, very routine. It's obviously been a few anomalies here and there.
I think 10 goals in 2 home games makes it look easy, but yeah, you're right. It hasn't always felt like that.
Yeah, I mean, home form wise, more recently, the goals have started to flow a little bit more freely, haven't they? The last few games, which obviously been quite good. It's probably as good a point as any to start a bit of a chat about the Barnsley game, really.
Yeah, Mark Roberts doing his best Mark Roberts impression. I mean, look, let's firstly talk about the throw that he put in that we managed to not defend. So it's not just corners that we can't defend; it's all sort of set pieces into the box. But we said when he was here, if you attack them right, you'll get goals from them. And I think it was a good set piece from them, a good play. I don't know if is it a throwing class as a set piece?
I think so. I'm surprised. I'm sure I said this fairly recently. I'm surprised more teams haven't tried to do us on set pieces, because we do look a bit
ropey.
Just there was
underprepared.
The ball always seems to bounce at some point. there was a little while when I think you were seeing one of my only criticisms of Ryan Allsop is that he is always on a set piece, always stuck to his line, and he doesn't move anywhere. And sometimes with crosses, he's the same as well when he could come. I think it was a Shrewsbury game where he was just rooted to the spot where they scored late on after we'd gone for 4-0 up or whatever. But we always seem to let a defender always seems to let that ball bounce in the box. And I don't understand why that's happening. It seems mental to moan. We've just been promoted. We won 6-2 at the weekend, and we went away and beat Peterborough last night fairly comfortably 2-1. But it seems weird to moan about it. But it is, if you're going to say, I wouldn't say it's not Achilles' heel, is it? But it is a bit of a weak spot potentially.
It is a weak spot, and you know what? It's something that they'll have to work on for next season. I mean, they could do with working on it in the next few days, because we've got this potentially now our biggest game of the season. I think it is our biggest game of the season. There's nearly 50,000 fans.
The next game is always the biggest game of the season.
Wow, so. Yeah, that old cliche. But I mean, we're going to look back. And it is, because it's a trip to Wembley, isn't it? So
Chris Davis obviously thought it was a fairly big game because he did make 6 changes as well.
Well, yeah. Sorry, yeah, we've moved on too quick, though, haven't we? We're talking about Barnsley.
Barnsley. But Barnsley had the set piece thing, but
yeah. So Barnsley was. I'm not going to lie. When they went down to, you cracking a can open there.
Yes.
It's not apple
pie. Shows what you're drinking, Matthew, for the camera.
It's going to be apple pie lager.
Irish
no. Cream soda Pepsi.
Nice.
Anyway.
The Barnsley game, when they went down to 10 men, which I thought was a really harsh sending off, by the way, having seen it back at the time, I couldn't have commented on it because I was the other end of the pitch. But watching
I thought it was really harsh. It was strange because both managers, even Hourahan, said that it was a red card.
I'd be interested to see whether he'd seen it back at that point or whether he'd just seen it live. Because watching it live, I thought penalty and went up like everyone else did. Watching it back, for me, it's like the touch that Keshi Anderson had taken was taking him wide.
Yeah.
Mark Roberts was covering. For me, that yellow card.
I don't think it was a sending off. I thought we got the rub of the green on that one.
But fair play to Barnsley. They didn't let it hold them back, and they were one of the better teams that I've seen this season.
To be fair, like considering their run of form, we spoke about that beforehand. Like, I was actually fairly impressed with what I saw of them. I thought, yeah, they did. They just came to give it a go, and actually, we were. We were on the ropes a little bit at times during that game, and you know a couple of decisions here or there, or if Ryan Allsop made a couple of saves, he obviously made that mistake with the second goal as well. But it could have been very, very different. But then let's be fair, we were pretty clinical, which is nice to see us do that because it's only been maybe 3 or 4 times this season. So it was nice to see us.
We're taking the chances.
Yeah.
It definitely was. And it was like all of the players that scored as well. So Alfie May, Stansfield again from the penalty spot. Penalty, like, you know what's coming, don't you? And then of course the big one at the end.
Yes.
Juke's swan song.
You must have had a great view of that, Chris, because that must have literally been.
Mate, incredible, absolutely.
What was your view like, Dave?
Well, I'm trying to think you my view was this. About the 88th minute, knowing I had to go and get a train and knowing I had to work that evening, I thought it's gonna head off a bit early. Not early. I'm gonna go to the loo early. So I was in Gilmerick lower toilets. while that goal went in, and then didn't have enough time to race to the screen to see it. Because you get that delay.
You missed that as well.
So I will always associate that goal with standing in that toilet. So
what a nice moment for you that was.
I know. I swear I missed another one in the game. You know what? I don't want to go on
Just
ranting.
spent the whole game in the toilet.
I missed. Yeah, I missed 2 goals that game because I missed the one straight after half time as well because of the shit service.
I thought you when you said shit, then I thought you were going to
say no, because of the shit service at the bar. So that game, obviously we have these automated. You go you go and pay beforehand now at these machines.
Yep.
So incredibly excited because someone in front of me had paid that hadn't taken their ticket. Didn't see who it was, so I genuinely couldn't go and give them their ticket. But they must have paid and then just walked away and gone to queue. So gave someone a free chicken balti pie, which amused me. Then you get my kid up for it, and I can miss the start of the second half.
So you missed the start of the second half for getting a chicken balti pie,
which I didn't even eat. Well, I was getting a drink as well, so I missed 2 of the 6 goals.
Fair enough.
Won't do that on Sunday.
just don't go to the toilet.
Stay out of the Wembley toilets on Sunday.
Oh, it's going to be tough for a lot of people though, because there's going to be a lot of beer drunk beforehand. Got to time your pit stops. Talking about Alfie May, MZA King. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Zar King. I'm going to call him Zar King. I hope Alfie gets his chance next season. That's obviously going to be one that we'll come to on a summary of the end of the season, sort of transfer, keep, sell, whatever episode. But I mean, he deserves a chance. He deserves one shot at the championship at least, even if he's happy to be a squad player this season.
Yeah, he mentioned last night, I think he said, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was an interview afterwards, and I think he mentioned that somebody had texted him during the day and said you could be a championship player after tonight. And that's what he's wanted for such a long time. I think he's earned the right to be, at the very least, a squad member in our team next season. So, and he's probably well aware that he could be 3rd or 4th choice potentially next season. But I'm not sure how much that'll bother me. Or at least give him the opportunity to, have a season in there. And, if things don't work out, then and it's best for all parties to move on, then that'll happen. But he could just if he just finds a run of form, he could just start banging them in the championship. He's an intelligent player. Like, he is pretty much a natural finisher. And now he's found that groove again. Because obviously 1 goal is all it took to just get his confidence back, wasn't it? He's a completely different player. Like, you can see it in everything he does.
And we did say that weeks ago that it was one of those where, like Peter Crouch had one where it hit him on the arse, went in, and then he went on that scoring run. And once you've got that confidence, I mean, the first one that got him on that run, he nearly put over the bar from the yard out. But having scored that, he then scored the one after, which he probably wouldn't have scored had he not scored the first one, because of the whole mentality that goes with it. And now he's on that run, and he looks like the Alfie May that could have been, probably would have been, competing as a top scorer in the league had he had a full season up there.
I love him. I think he's great because he presses, he just drops it, he drops deep, he picks the ball up, he links play quite nicely, and he's not just a goal scorer, and he scores all sorts of goals that we've spoken about before. But we should speak a little bit more about Juke. Let's just bring it back, because I felt quite sorry for him. He didn't even make the bench on Tuesday. But it's like, you've had your moment. That's it. Get back.
Duke's Titanic moment.
Yeah, that was a good edit, Chris. So I enjoyed that.
Honestly, so I was sat on a train over to Shrewsbury after the game, and I was trying to edit on my phone on Instagram. It just wasn't having any of it. And the 3rd time round, I finally got it done and posted it. And I noticed there was a little jump just before he's about to hit the ball, and I was like,
So for those that haven't seen that, we did debate actually whether we were going to loop this at the start, and for copyright reasons, we decided we don't want to get the pod pulled. But you can sing it, Chris.
Kneel for wherever you are. My eyes
like Celine Dion's.
Could have gone for the Newfound Glory version. Would have been much better.
No, it's just not the same feel to it, though. It's not the same vibe.
Maybe not.
But
you can speed it up. Well, you never get Juke to speed up that quickly, I don't think. So.
I didn't finish just my kind of woes on missing that goal. So I missed that goal.
Because you went to the toilet.
Because you had your member in your hand, which a lot of people after Juke's goal were doing as well. So you're in good company.
Right there. And then you think, well, I'm not going back to the stands because I've got a train to get. So legged it to New Street. And of course, what board do you think I was greeted with when I got to New Street? It's the train cancellation.
Oh,
I know.
oh.
So if there's any lessons to be learned from that, it's don't try and get trains, don't work in the evening, and don't never ever leave a football ground early.
Never leave early
unless you're like 4-0 down or something. That's fine.
Do you know what? I've sat through games that were 4-0 down right to the end.
Yeah, I have as well. But
then stood there
left.
disappointed when the players come around to clap and you're just staring at them like, no, not happy.
we used to have a rule, didn't we, Dave? Yeah. Just to beat the traffic.
Went 4-0. What was it? We left if we went 4-0 down.
4-0 down. Yeah, there was a handful of games. We did pretty well missing most of the Bournemouth games. We've spoken about this before, actually, so we're ready to go into it. But
the thing, I totally get why people do it at the moment, especially when things are so bad around the ground and it takes you about 3 hours to get away because all the roads just turn into a car park.
As someone that absolutely despises running and everything about running, I ran pretty much, down as far as Digbeth to make this train, and then, won't do that again.
So you missed Juke's goal.
Missed Juke's goal.
And everything after it.
Yeah.
Then you missed your train. Well, you didn't miss your train. The train wasn't there.
So the kids that jumped on and started celebrating, that was in almost full kit, not quite, but just jumped on, and it's just like just celebrating with the players. It was so funny.
Stewards didn't seem to see him. All the fans around him noticed him.
Yeah.
He was the only one who actually took heed of if Juke scores were on the pitch. Everyone else bottled it.
So did he then just politely kind of walk back to his seat afterwards, or did someone actually clock the?
No, he went to the bench.
He jumped into. He ran back into the stand, and you can see it in the video after they finish celebrating. He runs back up the steps.
The steward's not just like waving back in or something.
Pretty much, yeah. They're kind of like, "Oh, it's Juke. We'll just let you get on with it." But I found that so funny because then the rest of the players were celebrating with him as well. It was just
Samstead grabbed him and pulled him into the. Which was quite funny. But it was. Good. I mean, it shows how well respected Juke is within that squad, that like Ryan Alsop is over there in a flash to celebrate, like to jump on him. How well respected he is by Blues fans and loved by Blues fans. The fact that this was to go 6 goals, well, not 6 up, but to go 6-2. And was it 6-2?
Yeah.
Thought it was to go 6-2 up, and people were going nuts. It was like it was the biggest goal of the game. Like we'd just scored a last minute winner and people were going mental for it. And that just shows how loved he is, I think. How much
go mental for it.
Yeah.
I think people can relate to him, can't they? Because he's been through all that shit that we have been through for those like past 9 years. He's stuck by, he's become less effective as time's gone on. I think there's nobody that'd argue against that, even Juke himself. But clearly, from what he said as well, that Chris Davies has kind of not leaned on him, but he's he said he wanted him around the squad, so he was an important figure to have, and I thought that was quite nice to hear. Actually, I mean, it could have just been lip service, but they obviously wanted to bring him back, and it's almost it's good that he's got this now. He's got the league. What effectively will be a league win, and hopefully the cup on Sunday if he's involved.
Oh, you hope, don't you?
We've got players back now, haven't we, as well?
Yeah, that's
Injuries. So Bielik and Taylor Gunn Hickman are back. So
for me, I would have. So I said to you last night, I think that our strongest lineup. Well, we'll come on to this actually. Leave it for now.
Yeah.
We'll park this. We'll come on to it.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great moment for Juke.
It's important for him to score in the league. I think he needed to almost just to feel more of a contribution. Yeah.
But then it was just a magical moment. I think it was almost so. Last night after the Peterborough game, Juki was speaking on one of the cameras, and he said, "Already looking forward to next season." And then you jokingly said, "Oh yeah, the goals triggered his
promotion triggered his 1 year
Yeah.
extension." Yeah. Well, actually, I think it might be 3 years. I'm not sure. But
Another 3 years.
don't be surprised if he's still around in some form. Everyone always talks about like, oh, let's just give him a coaching job. Or like, people just automatically think he's going to be a great coach, or like that. Some players don't want to do it. I think he is doing coaching badges, but
he's doing his coaches badges for about 5-6 years. I think.
He could still be around in any. Like, he probably doesn't want to give up playing, but he could just be anybody that he could do anything within the club that really. He's an intelligent guy, some form of club ambassador, or you can take on Tom Ross's job. Although I think Will Brassey's got that now, hasn't he?
He's doing a cracking job as well. Yeah, he clearly is though a great guy to have around the team. And when you have that type, so we've just seen it with Tuchel with the England squad. With that Jordan Henderson is that well respected that he wants him in the squad. Was there a previous England squad where someone hadn't made the England squad, but they took them anyway? Was it Gary Neville or someone wasn't in the squad, but he travelled with them to be part of it? I can't remember who that was. But sometimes having that character around the team is really good for you, and it's good for like a transition. And
yeah, no, there was a more recent one where someone went with his. What was that?
That was my missus blowing her nose in the background.
Is that what it was?
It did sound farty, but it wasn't. But so we hadn't actually sort of chatted on how we all were. So I had my ticket for Northampton. For Peterborough yesterday. But after having a poorly child last week, have a poorly missus now. So had to look after poorly child last night because my missus wasn't very well. So hence Dave going and getting that lovely bit of footage that he captured.
I actually saw all the goals this time. Didn't go anywhere.
saw the goals that time. You were in the stand.
Yeah. It was a pretty average first half comparatively. I thought.
I thought it was a great. Tuesday last night was a great. I thought it was a great game of football. Certainly the first half was really, 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 really good. They're a good. Peterborough have always got goals in them, pretty much always. Like they're a good attacking team. They're very suspect at the back, but it made for quite an open game. And it was second half. We obviously had a lot more control in it, but I thought we were. Yeah, I thought it was a really enjoyable game for just if a neutral had been watching that, I think they probably would have enjoyed it because there was some good football played by both teams.
He did seem to enjoy it and seemed to just be smiling for the entire time he was on the pitch. Ethan Laird. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Does he ever not smile?
Yeah, he's always smiling.
Goes off with a hamstring injury and he's still smiling.
He didn't that day game against Wickham. He was very sad actually. I mean, so he looked very, very down. I think he thought it was worse than it was at the time. But no, he just looked. Yeah, he's very
more than
he's a very happy character.
But no, I thought that, and so Matt Delaney on Blues TV actually commented at one point that the game started to turn into like a basketball game, the way it was going end to end at times. I think that was at some point in the second half, and it really was like that. It was their attacking play, and then our sort of controlling play, breaking out into those attacks. Our end, it really did go for a little while. I think we then sort of had to slow it down, calm it down, and get control of ourselves and of the game a little bit, and which we managed to. You predicted Chewy 2-2.
When I saw the team, because I mean, I said last week about would you rest players for the cup, because we're almost there in the league. And I mean, I thought he should do that, and I had a feeling that he might do something, but like a lot of people just thought that he wouldn't do anything at all and just keep playing the same. But it's interesting to see that obviously they obviously want to go in. Of course they want to go in there and win that, but he obviously values it and he wants to go and win at Wembley. So he was.
Of course he does. That's all. Of course he does, and he's at Wembley in his first season as a head coach or a manager. Of course he wants to go there and win the trophy that's available. Like he's in it's a no-win situation in a way, because if you win, and then it's like, oh, you should be winning that. If you don't win it, then it's like, oh, he should have won that. So it's a difficult one. So of course he wants to go and win it and just say, well, I was in it, I won it. But the thing is, all through the season when he's had all of this, so this was the point last week, I would have made changes, and I would have made changes throughout the season. But when I felt like he should have made changes and managed the squad a bit better throughout the season, he hasn't.
He didn't. Yeah, no, he didn't. But I think because we were that close now, and it was good. It was probably harder to not win the league or not get promoted. I think he just felt more comfortable potentially doing it. It was like flogging a dead horse until we were almost within touching distance, and do it. So yeah, I mean, we'll get onto it later, but it'd be interesting to see if any of the people that played last night played their way into his thoughts.
Yeah. Well, let's have a little sort of summary of last night then, because Luke Harris was the last couple of games has actually had some nice cameos and then got a start last night. He's someone who earlier in the season we both said like hasn't earned a place.
He looks a lot fitter now as well, though. So I don't know whether like he came, because he obviously got injured shortly after he came in. I wonder whether he was not fully fit when we'd first signed him. Potentially, I don't know, but yeah,
Is it a pressure thing or something? Because
maybe
he's
I quite like the energy that he brings, and he buzzes around quite a lot. He was picking up some nice positions, and I think he presses pretty well as well. I'm still not sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to see. I don't think I don't think we'll loan him next season in the Championship. We might do, but I suspect we'll be looking at other players at that point. But I don't know if I see a Championship player there or not at this point in time. But maybe Fulham would want to have a look at that.
I don't think I've seen enough from him to want to make either a loan again or. That might sound harsh, but we have seen a lot of him comparatively to what you would have new signings, and I don't think that I would take a squad place for him for what we want to do next season.
No, I agree.
They might feel different. Chris Davis obviously rates him, and we've said all along that he has done. Whether something will happen next season or not, we'll have to see. And I wouldn't be against him if Davis wanted to make that move. Then fair enough, and he's clearly shown that there is a player there.
I find he's probably more effective. He was pretty good last night, apart from the when he should have just left it for Keshi to strike. That was quite annoying. But then that was just you had Stansfield not getting out of the way of Laird at that point as well.
And you did have the Amazon documentary telling them that you had to. We needed a bit of drama for the second.
Was that right?
Half. Yeah, so they had to. They couldn't go 3-1 up. That's what it was.
But I was going to say, he is. I think he's more effective when he comes on against maybe tired legs, when we've had control of the game, we've worn the opposition out to a point. I think that that's when he's the most effective. But
there's no surprise that the cameos that he's had against the teams that he's had, and he's looked really sharp. But that he didn't. Last night, first half, I thought he looked okay. I actually thought second half he looked like he faded a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't surprised with that he was the one to go. However, lots of people saying Thor, Misa King in chat, Thor was awful again. He's on the ball. He's looked like I've tried to back him, but on the ball, he just hasn't been the same player that we've seen. I think off the ball, his work rate's been phenomenal. I think he's acting as that higher screen at the pitch, and he's doing a hell of a lot work rate wise. But on the ball, he just hasn't looked what we saw.
2 occasions yesterday that stuck out for me. You may or may not remember. I don't know. So, for me, his anticipation and just awareness seems to have dropped off, and I'm not quite sure. And obviously, you spoke about, oh, maybe he was concussed, etc. But it's obviously it's continued. So there was a pass played into him yesterday. I think it might have been from Iwata, and he had someone pressing him, and he really had to go to the ball, and he was just waiting there basically waiting for the ball to come to him. I think it was Alfie May had basically just clocked on and realised that he's not going to go for that, and there's a Peterborough player is pressing him, and Alfie May came in and basically
took it off him,
ran it a yard in front of him, and took the ball. It's like because he needed to move for it, and then there was another version further up the pitch in the final third where I think was it Samsted coming down Samsted coming down the right, and I think he was looking for something to lay the ball off to, and Williamson almost went not missing as such, but kind of sort of like tucked himself almost behind their defender rather than sort of making a run beyond the defender or making a sort of a diagonal run to give him an option. It was
in the game. It's known as doing a Gleason.
Doing a Gleason, is it? So it was just sort of he was hiding, but it was really, really bizarre. Like, I'm not sure. There may be something else going on there. He wasn't great, and for me, and we'll get onto it later, but his position is definitely up for grabs this weekend. I was quite surprised he managed to stay on he did the full 90 minutes, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. So some of the other people they brought in, obviously Taylor Gardner-Hitman came in. I thought he was excellent. Put a real shift in, and he apparently hadn't even trained. Chris Davis said no, not properly. So he obviously played whatever it was, 60 minutes there, and some of his deliveries were excellent. He potentially got lucky with a bit of poor goalkeeping with a goal.
The camping goal, was it?
Yeah, well, he's had the habit of doing this to a few goalkeepers. The Wickham goalkeeper he had that strike against as well, and that was a pretty.
Maybe it's just the way he strikes the ball. He just hits it.
Maybe he puts that spin on it, or something. I don't know. But he was very good. Bielik from a progressive ball carrying centre back and just spraying the ball around was tremendous. Like really, really, really neat and tidy. A couple of times he got done defensively where you kind of worried a little bit, but yeah, going forwards, like his passes were absolutely excellent. His diagonals really, really good.
Well, that was another thing that I suppose we're probably going to see at the weekend as well, with a bit more space on the pitch as well. But I mean, we exploited that again and again and again. It was almost got predictable. I mean, we spoke about Allsop and the predictability of him going more direct. I mean, last night you could see it. You were watching it happen, and it just every time out there, out there, out there.
It would have been interesting to see how we would have fared Bielik doing that with Laird at the start of the game and Anderson on at the start of the game to see if we would have had any more joy, because they obviously are just a little bit more effective when they pick those diagonals up.
The bubbles from that Pepsi cream
Yes,
soda.
yeah.
Struggling a little bit.
Yeah. But
No, it would have been. It's but it's nice that coming towards the end of this season that we're seeing this squad rotation that we spoke about at the start of the season. We're actually seeing it come into play now, and it's
yeah.
actually that these players are coming in. So Leonard came in and thought he had a very good game again.
So he was very, very good. But do you think he was quite reserved in the way he was playing? Like, there's a couple of times
Held
like
back.
he was gonna play a little bit more of a.
Are you suggesting he's been listening to the We Are Birmingham podcast?
I mean, him and Chris Davis clearly listened to this this podcast. I don't think he listens to the podcast, but he clearly there was a handful of times when he looked up to play a more risky forward pass, and instead shuffle back
Was a bit more
on the side,
conservative with it.
was a bit more conservative, and it was visibly noticed. It was like very, very obvious, and I think I felt like I could see him thinking about doing the unthinkable, and then no, I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
Again, are you suggesting that he was, while having the ball, was actually thinking, "What would Matthew want me to do?"
What would Chris Davis want me to do?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably more likely
that.
that what does the gaffer want me to do in this situation?
But if
more
it was
likely.
Gaffer, also,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was fairly obvious last night that he was far more conservative, reserved with the way, and it was more about keeping the ball and recycling possession and finding those openings rather than doing, being more of that sort of maverick type. But he played a little bit further forward, I thought, as well. He was picking that ball up between the midfield and defence quite a lot. I really like him, and I hope that he continues to grow with us, because obviously he's still quite young, and I think he'll turn into an excellent player. But yeah, who else they brought? They brought Samsted in as well, didn't they?
I thought Samsted had quite a solid game. At the end, he was loving it, wasn't he? Walked off the pitch and walked round past the fans. And
yeah. It's nice to see him get a bit more
involved.
Get a bit more involved now.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was just like, well, we're obviously staying up. We're obviously going to go up. He's going to sign permanently. It'd be interesting to see if we do, because I've changed my thinking was, we'll probably end up selling him in the summer, but I'm not sure. We maybe might keep him now. But he seems to be quite a good character as well. But he seems certainly enjoying himself.
He's a really useful player as well. Like he does seem like a good character. He obviously is enjoying being over here. He apparently before he got into the run of games, before he was playing, he was saying like that he enjoys being around, and he's like loving it at the club. And I mean, let's be honest, with the project and everything going on, who wouldn't be? Unless you're seriously talented and you're not playing, you're going to be happy to be involved and wait for a chance, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he was very happy here, just playing the bit part that he was. But he was maybe thought that he should have been a bit more involved. Now that he's getting that bit of involvement, he does look a great character, does it? And do you know what? I think he looks really useful as well. Like, he didn't look out of place last night.
No, I thought he was very good. I think he's been a victim of circumstance, hasn't he? Because you look how well Ethan Laird has played, and then you just got Mr. Dependable Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who can play pretty much. You probably stick him in goal for a few minutes on Sunday, and he do pretty well. And he's been excellent. So, and obviously I think the fact that Taylor Gardner-Hickman's a little bit more robust, a little bit more industrious, and he is acclimatized to English football, that obviously Chris Davis felt a little bit more comfortable, and Samson's worked his way in and earned his place in the team, and it's done really well. So, yeah, fair play to him. Have we got anything else going on in the chat? Because I can't see it. I don't know if there's much going on.
We've had a few comments come in. Tom Richards said, "Classic shirt Golding." Thank you. The boy in blue said, "Hi lads, keep right on. We're on our way. I met the vegan last night." Remember that, Dave?
Yep. I think that was while queuing up again for half time. Hello.
And then Tom Richards again has said, "Unpopular opinion." So we've just talked about this. Sign Luke Harris if we can get him for a reasonable price. Young goal contributions, lots of running. Davis clearly likes him. I suppose that is pretty much what we've just said. If Davis wanted to go for it, then go for it. I personally wouldn't, but I'm not against it. If we were to sign him because Davis wanted him, I'd fully trust Davis to build his squad, build the squad that he wants. And I think because of the performances recently, we've seen a different Luke Harris to the one that we had seen earlier in the season. So wouldn't be against it. Dave, could we get some 15-second opinions, please?
I think we probably can. Right, here we go.
15-second opinion.
Chrissy Davis. First year in charge as a man, smashing all records, doing us proud. Keep right on, Chris. Keep on doing what you're doing. Smashing it.
Hey lads, Will Heatley here, US Blue Nose, you know me well, long-time listener, great work. We're going up, we're all excited over here, so keep right on and let's get the virtue lifted, shall we?
Back in Birmingham and I'm going to the final on Sunday, so I watched it with my dad at home. Brilliant to see us get what we fully deserved, promotion. Yes, boys.
Yes, lads, Chris O'Brien here again. What a night in Peterborough, my throat is absolutely gone. And don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up. Don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up.
Ken here. It's 7 a.m. in Japan, and I'm going mad. And obviously couldn't be any loud for a certain reason, but come on, you Blues! Keep right on.
Hey lads, what a night last night. Everyone in the away end partying, having a great time. It's just nice to finally have some conclusive success. Just a virtue in the title to tick off now. See you all at Wembley on Sunday. Come on, you Blues.
All right, lads. This is Jasper from Toronto, Canada. I'm here enjoying a promotion beer, a Labatt Blue, of course. My opinion is, thank fuck, I'll hopefully never see League One again in my lifetime. Up the Blues and keep right on.
Don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up. Don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up. Don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up. Don't you know, pump it up.
G'day fellas, great day here in Adelaide this morning, celebrating Blues promotion, also my birthday. Fantastic season, couldn't ask for anything more, well except for winning Wembley, being champions and the points record. Let's go and do it. Keep right on boys, hooroo.
Thank you as ever for sending those in. Don't you know, pump it up, the Blues are going up. Chris O'Brien in there.
Apparently so.
A few of the other lads.
Happy birthday to, I'm not sure who the last person was.
I think that was Ray Nolan. He's an Aussie Blues fan because he tweeted last night to say that it was his birthday and what a birthday present. So
happy birthday, Ray.
I know he listens as well. So happy birthday, Ray. It was great to have some of the Blues fans from around the world sort of joining in with this podcast, sending their opinions in as well. Japan with Kai.
I did send it to the Ulster lot, but it got ignored in the chat. So.
Jasper as well in Canada. What was that, Dave?
It's deemed too close. The part of England, it's okay.
Just go the opposite way around the world, and they're completely the opposite side of the world, aren't they? All the way around the world. But yeah, thank you as ever for sending those in. It's great to. I mean, wasn't expecting many opinions, to be honest with you. It was just about people
feeling good.
Feeling good about it, enjoying it, and that love getting people involved to send them in. I think it's great to have them.
It is amazing just how in 1 year, you think how fucking miserable we were at this time last year, how things have changed. Not just like the fact that yes, we've been relegated and bought a lot of players, but like the whole mindset of the club, everything is just completely changed. It's the environment is different, the feeling amongst fans is different, feeling the players, everything is just there's such a big change in just a shift in the mentality with everybody. It's so good. And hey, we sort of did warn people this might happen, and hey, it did.
And do you know what, the mindset within the squad as well?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I don't think it's just it's not just the fans.
Oh no. I think when I said the club, I meant like the
just
players and
everywhere.
everything. Yeah, because that takes. I know we've shifted a lot of players out, and but some of this sort of stuff can be deep rooted in a club and find it very, very difficult. You look at places like who are still struggling at the moment. In the Stoke, they go through they've got Mark Robbins now, who's been a fairly proven good manager in the Championship. They've recycled players in their squad numerous times, and they still look like they're in all sorts of trouble. It's just, it's wild the way things have changed. Obviously, Chris Davis has obviously done his bit, and he's changed the mentality of those players, and it's just fantastic.
But it starts with one thing. I don't know why. No, I'm not going to go the Linkin Park route. Misa King has just said, I was still happier this time last year than this time 3 years ago. And I think that's massively key, because this time last year, even though we'd got relegated, well, not quite this time last year. No. But okay, relegation day last year, we came away from it, and it was the most optimistic relegation day that I think I'd ever have in my life, because everyone was just like, we're going to come out the other side of this and we're going to be stronger. We're going to be better because of Knighthead, because of Tom Wagner. There was a belief there that we were going to bounce back from it.
It was a reset. Like, we probably actually, whilst I think Knighthead probably thought getting relegated is a step back. Maybe it wasn't. Actually going down has actually probably helped create
a forward.
It's actually help create that winning mentality. And actually we could maybe go, we're actually still probably going to be better off when we go into, because we wouldn't have gone up from the Championship if we'd managed to stay up. We probably would have been mid-table or something.
Well, and the thing is, we'd have won a game, we'd have lost a game, we'd have drawn a game, we'd have won a game, we'd won a game, we'd have drawn a game, we'd have lost a game, and it would have had that flow. That's nothing new. Actually going into games and having these unbeaten streaks and these winning game runs, that is what we're trying to breed. And that wouldn't have been possible if we were in the Championship. I don't believe that it would have been anyway. So that whole reset that came at the end of last season, like getting relegated, because of that, it wasn't a terrible thing. It didn't feel like a dreadful day.
It's wild, isn't it? When a lot of teams get relegated, there's a lot of widespread just sadness. I'll use the term loosely, depressed fans, and you know what I mean by that, but just a very negative outlook on their football club. Because we had been circling that drain for so many years, it was almost like, this is kind of a relief. And then because of the ownership change and everything,
I think that was key though, because if it was the old owners that were in place, we'd have disappeared into oblivion. It's just the ownership made it acceptable almost, and it was so much easier to deal with, and in fact optimistic, because I don't think anyone really didn't believe that we were going to bounce back from it. I think people knew, especially when they got the checkbook out and they started signing players.
There were small pockets of people, and there's still small pockets of people that you see are quite, I won't say they're negative, but they're very downbeat on what we've just achieved. I know that I had the thing a few weeks ago about being bored, but it wasn't boredom. I just didn't articulate myself very well. It's just it was just the routineness of everything, and it was just like, it's kind of just seemed like, oh, this is what I'm used to. This is used to happening now. So it took the emotion and some of the passion out of it. But then things like last night kind of reignite that, and then we've got this final on Sunday, and that's going to be a completely different kettle of fish.
I think it's the longest I can remember without hearing the phrase "typical Blues."
Yeah. Yes.
So it has been used a few times.
Oh, to be fair, yesterday was it yesterday, or it was after the weekend when we'd beat Barnsley 6-2 and Peterborough had lost 4-0 to Northampton. I was just I used the term "typical Blues" when I was talking to somebody else, because I thought, yeah, we can go there if we win. We basically get promoted. It's you should win that, no problem, because Peterborough lost 4-0 to Northampton, and you guys won 6-2 at the weekend. And it's a Man United fans, but he does pay attention to Birmingham scores, just Blues scores because of me. But then in my head, I was just like, well, it'd just be our luck if we go. Everyone expects us to win, and we go and lose to the team that lost 4-0 at the weekend to Northampton. But yeah, it still is being thrown around every now and then.
It's more of a jokey thing now, or it's things that they haven't fixed in place at the club, where like to do with the ticket office and things like that. Things that need processes.
You got hot water your end, Chris?
Have I got what?
You got hot water your end?
At my house, yeah.
Well, no, your house. No, you under the ground.
There is, but I think there's 2 taps.
I say I think the only time I've used "typical Blues" this season is in, again, referring back to the toilets as well. Just cold water, "typical Blues," no hot water. I thought we were promised hot water at the start of the season.
We have got some. We have got some in the toilet, and I think it's like 2 taps out of about 10.
Second-class citizens that sit at the end of the ground.
So a couple of comments that have come in. Spike said, if we went down the BSHL, Mr. King, we would have been in deep problems and possibly teetering on financial ruin with AFC Birmingham starting up. I'm not going to lie, I'd have been very surprised if anyone would have bothered putting that together, because I'm just not sure that anyone. I think people would have gone off and supported other teams. Sadly, I think it would have been the apathy had grown that much, and we'd lost that many fans. I don't know if that would have happened. Maybe, you never know. Thankfully, we don't need to think about that now. But that's sort of what I was pointing on then. That if we'd have gone down under them, we'd have been in an absolute shithole. But sadly, luckily, we got taken over, and we're not there. So, did you guys have a few corners that you wanted to throw out? Because we were just talking about other people's assumptions.
I mean, it could be multiple corners, really, couldn't there? I think you've got.
Have you got some to hand?
Not. I don't know. Dave, did you have any?
No, I think a lot of people have seen on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Chris, in the Twitter, in the last 24 hours, just people finding all of those tweets, which essentially said how difficult it was going to be.
Well, did you see what the? Did you see the Chris Davis tweet? Well, it wasn't what
yes,
Chris Davis had said.
What is it?
Forget about.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it up. It's not about trophies or promotions. It's about going back through your Twitter bookmarks and slating everyone who slagged Blues off. Chris Davis. There we go.
Worth sticking on Twitter just for that, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was from Stulah, Stulah on Twitter. So that was very funny. That tickled me, and that's all that's been happening.
It's all the fact. It's all these opposition fans that they're just you're in for a shock, isn't it? It's all that. If you look at that, I mean, it seems fairly prevalent that Harry guy from the posh cast, like, who I think we sent to. Did we send to Cornella at that?
I think did we send him on the episode that he was on as well? Did we not send him there?
Potentially, yeah. Yes, I think we did actually. Yeah.
Later on, when we look ahead to the Peterborough game, will he have the balls to come onto this episode? We'll find out in a bit.
Oh, I'm interested because I don't know, but there was that one. There was a bit of funny one that I just saw recently, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but there's a conversation happening. It's been the early part of the conversation has been deleted. And then I think there's a Sheffield Wednesday fan that actually says something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, they'll probably get record points this season." And who is this? This is a Reading fan who obviously they hold the EFL. I don't know if you saw this, but if you mean beating 106 points, or even if they beat Wolves 103, I will do a video of me headbutting a wall 1,000 times. That's how confident I am. And Eagle One isn't as easy as you think, pal. I think he meant League One. But,
maybe
so I hope
if we do that, we could get him doing that live on Web. We can have him in the corner just headbutting the wall 1,000 times while we're
we'll reach out to James BR23509416 and see if he's keen on coming on and just doing that for us for
I think
how long it takes to headbutt a wall 1,000 times.
There were people making probably, in one sense, legitimate points that there are a lot of teams that have taken a long time to get out of League One, several seasons to do it. And in one sense, you can see that was the point they were trying to make out of this. But it's just been brilliant looking back at some of those tweets, haven't they? Just the sheer.
It's wild to think about it, because there is a level of arrogance and from our side, and okay, it was very well placed in the end, but I mean, it potentially
could have gone wrong.
The potential to go
ultimately, it's just great.
Very wrong.
It's just great being right, isn't it?
I mean, it is. I mean, obviously, yeah. I was moderately quiet on the whole thing, but I thought we would come back up. But you always have to have a little bit of, just be a little bit reserved about stuff. But
I tell you what's really funny about it though. You've got the people who at the start of the season were going, "Oh, you're in for a shock, this, that, the other," and then Blues fans replying, "No, we're going to have so much money, we're going to throw this money out." Yeah, but you can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't mean that you can buy success.
Yeah.
Now the argument is, of course you won the league, you spent all that money.
I think it's important to point out, and I think we've spoken about it before, right? Just because you've got money and you've bought a load of players, the fact that we had so much player turnover, you've had to gel 15, 16, probably 17 players in the end, given the January transfer. Gel those players together. It's not just about finding a player that is of the quality you require on the football pitch. It's about bringing in the right personalities as well. And they spoke about that from the very, very beginning of when Chris Davies said, we need the right characters in the dressing room. If they're not, then I'm sure there's been a handful of players that they've turned away and said, no, we don't want to sign these. Getting all those players to gel, and that's from different leagues around, like, as well. It's not that easy,
and
it's a brand new coach who's in his first,
I was going to say, rookie manager
position.
Yeah, who's stepping up and going, do you know what, I'm the main man now, and I'm taking all of the slack for this.
He hasn't brought in an older coach to work alongside, or not. I don't know how old. I've forgotten his name. Ben Petty. But I think he's maybe a bit older than Chris, but he hasn't brought in
not massively though.
Not been there and done that long term. You've got Mike Taylor in with part of the backroom staff as well, but he's done that, built his staff out himself with no sort of veteran coach to back him up and be. I'm sure they all bounce off each other and they have a sounding board. I think a lot, as you say, a lot of people expect you spend that money. Oh yeah, you should go up, and yeah, Chris Davies doesn't need commended. It's the least you should expect. But no, I mean, I think it's difficult to do that sort of stuff. You see other clubs that will just throw money around and just go absolutely nowhere. And a lot has to be said for the structure of things behind Davies and Craig Gardner and the recruitment team and what they've been doing with
that's something. While you touch on it, that's something that we were critical of in previous years. That there wasn't a recruitment team there.
Well, there wasn't.
It was Craig reaching out to his mates and agents and stuff that he knew,
which will always happen.
And it worked reasonably well. I mean, there were some successful loans out there, some successful signings, Chong and whatnot that came in and came off it.
Ethan
Laird
Laird came in
probably,
during that period. Yeah. Keshi
so-
Anderson.
yeah. I mean, a bit different, but yeah.
Again, third PSG goal.
Pardon?
What was that?
Third PSG goal.
A third.
Third. Yep. Anyway,
Okay.
back to you were.
Now just Palace to do it as well then. But it's cheers, Dave.
right. Put us right
Mid
off there.
flow. Shit on the Villa. Shit on the Villa. But yeah, it's like the recruitment team was something, or that wasn't a recruitment team, and that has been built up. The whole coaching team has been built up. They've done a great job of putting all of this together, and it's still so new. The coaching team needs more adding to it. The recruitment team will probably be added to. And
I mean, they are using third parties, aren't they? And they've brought. I think we spoke about
those. Yeah, we have those networks where it's
recruitment company that's now they're now under. Kind of, are they owned by Nighthead, or they're owned by Blues, or they brought them in?
No, it's basically like Football Manager shortlist. You can just
well, that was
you
got the transfer room stuff, haven't you? The transfer room stuff is, I think a lot of clubs are using that, but they brought in some form of a recruitment data team as well. So, yeah, I mean, exciting times ahead with what they do over the summer. We obviously know that Philip Neumann's coming in, but it's going to be some
it's a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, to everyone who said we were in for a shock and has slated us, this is we're chartering 747.
Send Cornella.
See you later.
Turns out it was actually everyone else that was in for a shock. Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
Turns out it was actually everyone else that was in for a shock, not who knew.
I'm actually, as you say, we are quite shocked at how easy it was in the end.
Well, let's not do it for at least another 30 years. You know?
Oh, that was the Jasper, wasn't it, on there, just saying that let's fucking hope that we never have to be in this league again. Or
I mean,
in this league again.
Yeah, we'll look back at some moments. We'll towards the end of the season, once we've won the league and the season's coming to an end, we'll do a bit of a review of some moments throughout the season, etc., and what we're looking forward to. But I guess we should probably have a little chat about this upcoming final.
Before we do, we've got the little thing about the trophy, Virtue Trophy final stubs. Is that yours in the background? So we've had a competition running with these with.
Mine is there.
Is it in the background?
Underneath Kurt Cobain and next to a Kurt Cobain Funko.
For reference, it's not actually as small as Matthew is pointing out. He didn't just get like a
toy. This is it. Look, it is actually on my. It is actually on my phone. My digital ticket is that big, so it's pretty accurate.
Right, we've got a competition that's been running with footballstubs.co.uk to have these stubs given away. Look at that! Look at how cool that is. That's all my seat details, my name. Matthew said earlier it's not like a proper ticket stub, but did you know what I'm going to say? It's nicer. I think they're nicer than actual ticket stubs. They're more souvenir-y, rather than a bit of print on it that fades off. But we've got 5 of these, so we've got all of your entries, and I've put them in. Hopefully this is going to work.
Hang on, before you do, what happened last time you tried to do a live competition? Should we just remind people?
Something did happen. What did happen? I can't remember.
Was it nothing? Because that is that what happened?
No, we did the live draw for the sweepstake, and people couldn't see it, and the network and computer just couldn't handle it. I've got a new computer now, and you're streaming this, so that's fine. And this is on my phone, so I've got everyone's name who's entered in my phone in this page here. So I'm going to hopefully draw 5 names out.
Did we give the answer of it though?
Oh no, do you want to give the answer? Oh, do you know what? Some people were getting it wrong. I think this was too difficult. But
see, our regular listeners would have known that
but we've
I
got
play
people
football with a lot of Rangers fans.
Yes,
because there's a lot of Rangers fans in Northern Ireland.
How is the wrist?
I'm due to go to the fracture clinic tomorrow afternoon. So in the fracture clinic, I'll have another X-ray. They'll tell me if it's healing properly. It actually feels a lot better. So it was feeling great. So
until you did the mopping up.
that is a bit sore. But last night it was. Today is my other half's birthday. She's away with her sisters. They've gone to a gig tonight. She'll be back later. So I was downstairs trying to wrap her birthday presents. Not easy. So I was trying to get all the girls
tweeting about this.
After the game, I was like, fuck, I've got to wrap all these presents now. Got really fucking stressed out by it because I was really, really struggling to wrap. I'm not the greatest of rappers anyway.
All right.
But I really struggled. Anyway, I got it done in the end, and then I did some balloons for her before I put the presents down, and I flicked a balloon in the air and then went to hit it with my hand. Just a balloon. And it wasn't the fact that it hit the balloon. It was just the motion of the hand. And I'm surprised I didn't wake the whole house up because it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was in a lot of pain. So yeah, it's still sore at certain moments. Don't go around hitting balloons. So I won't be fighting on Sunday.
And that's why you can wrap presents with your feet now.
Well, yeah, that's skills. But I'm going to.
And your daughter's is it going to be Wembley Cast? Are you going to be trying to get like 40,000 Blues fans to sign your cast?
Just don't start it.
Oh, please bring a Sharpie.
That would be funny.
If you don't bring a Sharpie, I'm bringing a Sharpie.
So I'm getting recast. So I'll be in a different cast on when Sunday. So I'm getting recast tomorrow as well. So it'll be. I'm gonna ask for a blue one.
Sign his arm. Even if he hasn't got the cast on it.
Yeah, come along and Sama, but please be gentle because if you probably had a beer, then you might manhandle me. Yeah, try and see if I can get a blue cast, a blue wrap on it.
So what was the answer? Who's your nemesis? Who does he support?
Rangers. Sorry, so
Rangers.
The majority of people are in certain the pockets of towns and cities in Northern Ireland is very dense. Rangers.
Just in general.
Yeah. The Rangers fans. There are a lot.
Sorry, Northern Ireland listeners. It was a joke.
Depending on where you go, and then it's obviously Liverpool, Man United, all the normal, as you would imagine. But yeah, Rangers fan, a dirty Rangers fan.
Have you seen him?
Okay, so
no, he's too scared to see me.
So we've got all of the names who said Rangers in this draw, hopefully. So I'm going to press this button and it's going to spin. First one, Scott Jinks. Dave, have you got a pen?
I do not have a pen.
Dalmar Ragnarsson.
Oh, Dalmar.
I got his fucking ticket as well.
There you go. We can give. Yeah.
I'll give it.
You're gonna have to make that guy send it to Iceland. Brilliant.
Oh, sorry, 40 stubs. Next one.
Gareth Collins.
Gareth Collins. Thanks for reading that. I can't read it backwards.
We'll play number 3, Mark Older.
Plays for WAB.
Yes, he does. I follow him on Strava, actually.
The last one.
Oliver Croft.
So well done, guys. We'll sort that out with you to get footballstubs.co.uk to sort your ticket stubs sent out to you, souvenir stubs. If you didn't win and you want one, up until that, so these are £7, but if you get them before Sunday, they're £5 each. But definitely pick one up if you can. If you like souvenirs, if you don't, then probably not for you, is it? Right. Thank you for everyone who entered. Thank you to footballstubs.co.uk for running that with us. Right. Should we have a look forward to the game then?
Yeah, I'm getting quite excited now, actually. Until I go to the fracture clinic tomorrow and they tell me, "Oh, by the way, when we put this on, you can't fly." I'll
On the
fucking
boat.
swim. Yeah,
yeah. You could get a boat rather than swim. You're in a cast.
I'm not going to get a boat because that'd take fucking ages, and I'd have to try and get from Liverpool to London. It would just be
a boat all the way around to London,
straight up the Thames.
Just hire one down at the harbour in Port Stewart or Port Rush, and just see if I can get down there. And I've got a couple of customers that have boats. Actually, maybe they might help me out. I'm not sure they're built for that though.
Right. So excited then.
Yeah, it was kind of getting this out of the way, getting promoted out of the way. It'd give me a little bit more. Oh, look, there he goes. I was a little bit more. Yeah, got more excited afterwards that we're coming up for Sunday. It's gonna be such a long day for me because I have to leave my house at about 4 a.m. which means I've obviously got to get up early. So I've got to get to the airport to fly over. I'll get into Stansted around 8 o'clock. So yeah, I'm going to be very tired. So I'm probably going to try and have a little nap on the plane.
Oh, I need a vuvuzela. I've got my I've got my hat. I need Jono. Is that playoffs? Playoffs, I think, wasn't it? Do you not remember Jono with the jester hat with the?
Yeah, yeah.
Need a vuvuzela as well.
It was after the Norwich game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got any other blue and white sort of Wembley accessories that you're taking along with you? Or was it just the hat?
Just the
big
hat?
Just blue and white dildo.
No, just the hat.
I don't know why I said that. Sorry. So I was just looking at those things coming off of your head, and I just thought.
The worrying thing
full of dildos. He's got a hat full of dildos.
Worrying thing is that me and Amajir are sharing a hotel room with Matthew, so now we're concerned what he is bringing over.
I'm just doing carry. I'm traveling light. I'm doing carry on because it's only a 20.
You can take dildos in your carry on. If you bring your blue and white dildo over with you?
Probably won't because I think I'll leave it at home.
Anyway, enough dildo chat. Should we talk about the game? What are you expecting from them? More of last night or a different entity?
A combination.
They're missing a few players from that would normally play through cup ties, aren't they?
Yeah, cup tie. I see the bigger pitch is a thing for me where I think I would normally say it suits us, but I think it also suits Peterborough, and they've got quite a few quick players. That does bother me a little bit. So
bigger pitch, quick players.
Yeah, that is a concern. I think obviously we have to play our normal game, element of control. I think it's going to be a few times when we do look to go along and try and negate their press, etc., and stuff like that. So I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. In fact, I just don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. But I think there's going to be goals in it. So,
are you expecting us to see a different Peterborough to the one that we saw last night?
I don't think Peterborough can play a different way. I don't think they can. I think Peterborough play the way they play, and I think that's sometimes it works in their favour, and other times it's a bit of a curse for them.
Well, do you know what? You know who might know? A Peterborough fan might know. Now, has Harry Anders,
of course he has,
or whatever his name, has he came out from behind his sofa? Because he's not responded to anything.
No, he hasn't. There's no way he's come on here.
He's his head down. Has he, Dave? Has he sent us a video? Let's play it and see who the Up the Poshcast have sent over.
In terms of the league, this has probably been one of the worst seasons of the McAntony era at Posh. He likes to have us challenging for sort of promotion from League One or obviously in the Championship at the bottom end trying to stay up. And we have fallen insanely below those expectations this season. We have been relegation threatened for a lot of the season. We still are relegation threatened. I am not convinced we have enough points to stay up even now. We just cannot seem to do anything right this season. We've had insane injuries, like ridiculous injuries, and just coming at really weird times in training sessions before games or on random Friday nights before the Saturday where nobody knows where the injury came from. We had a player that grew an extra bone in his leg somehow, and somebody who got injured in the cool down for 10 weeks or something. It was absolutely ridiculous. We've sort of got over those injury issues now, luckily, but they definitely plagued us for a lot of the season. Defensively, we've been shoddy. Been able to be cut through at literally any moment in the game. If you want to score, you probably can against our team. We signed 3 players in January to try and help with that, but none of them can play on Sunday. They're all cup tied, so we're back to sort of that pre-Christmas just defensive shambles. I don't know who's going to play at the back on Sunday, but whoever it is, they're not going to be very good. So it's going to be an absolute field day for the Blues attackers. It's just been a dismal season. There's no way of hiding that. There's no way of spinning that. I don't think, Darren McAntony's a very good guy at spinning stuff into positives, but I don't think even he can spin this season. We've had a few good young players come through, which has probably been the only bonus, but as a whole, it's been pretty embarrassing. We got Northampton Town did the double over us, which is, one of our local rivals. We got beat 5-1 away at Lincoln, beat at home by Burton 1-0. It's been just absolutely shambolic, really. Just get me out of this season. I think Wembley's probably the last thing that we have to be slightly excited for. It's a weird one. I don't think I think we're all obviously happy that we're going to Wembley, posh fans, but a lot of us don't think the players deserve it, and so are a bit disappointed that they've been given this chance after the season they've had. I mean, Tuesday night's game was probably one of our better performances of the season, which says a lot, really. At least we tried and we ran and we pressed and we looked a bit of a threat and we defended well for the most part. I think if we can get to a similar level on Sunday, it won't be embarrassing, but even so, I think the game on Sunday will be very similar to the game on Tuesday, except for maybe, which will work in our favour. Obviously, there's a bit of a bigger pitch, so those times where sort of Ricky J. Jones, the posh striker, was running in behind the Birmingham defence and wasn't really getting a lot of luck because he was sort of running out of pitch a lot. He'll have more pitch to do that in at Wembley, so maybe that will help. And we do have some very quick players. I think our pace will be helpful at Wembley, but even then, if you guys just dominate the ball and zip it around like you did at our place on Tuesday night, then there's going to be nothing we can do and we'll get hammered. So we're not confident going into Sunday on the whole, but what I would say is we have a very good record at Wembley. We've never lost there. We generally we show up for games that we really shouldn't show up for, and then we don't show up to the ones we need to. And Sunday just feels like the kind of game that we might just randomly show up and put in a performance. So I'm going to predict us to win. I don't know whether that's just out of blind optimism or a desperation not to have our Wembley record taken off us as a compounder of the misery of this season, or I'm not sure what it is, but I think we'll win 3-1. I think we'll score 2 in the first half like we did away at the away game at St Andrews, and then you'll get one back, and then you'll sort of be pushing really hard. We'll just about hang on, and then later on in the game we'll go and get a third on the counter attack. I think the more we can force you guys to push and really try for it, the more we'll have luck on the counter attack, and we'll get chances. I mean, we had chances on Tuesday night. We just need to stay composed and take the chances. I think you guys have all seen Kwame Poku. I think there's quite a strong link that he's going to end up at Birmingham in the summer. He's probably the one that, if he is going to be the point of difference, it'll be him. He is a very, very good player at League One, probably a very good player at Championship level as well. Yeah, he's the one to watch from our perspective, but yeah, the defense is going to be very shoddy, very young. The 3 players that we signed aren't going to be in there. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really tough game for us. In terms of what else we've got to discuss, I mean, I feel like we've had a bit of a relationship up the Poshcast and Birmingham fans this season because of Harry, who predicted that you'd finish 7th. I mean, what a terrible prediction. I think he was the only one on the pod that thought it at the time. I don't want us all getting tarred with that brush. He was definitely the only one that couldn't see that you guys were going to win the league by a very long way. I mean, with your squad and your financial backing and your fan base and the fact it's such a big club in League One, it felt to me that you were only going one way. It felt to the rest of the pod that way. And Harry, I think, very quickly came to regret his prediction. I don't think he listen. Some of the banter I've seen has been fantastic from Birmingham fans. I think I would definitely be in that team that bookmarked Harry and was quote tweeting him last night and into this morning, and keep it coming. I mean, it's great for us. Harry deserves it. What a terrible prediction. I don't think he'll be predicting the next fallen giant to come out of the Championship, not to go straight back up out of League One. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you can really say on that. It was a horrendous prediction. Harry, I think he definitely has eaten his words now. I mean, he's had to. It's you statistically gone up, but yeah, you thoroughly deserved. We hope we can sort of spoil what's been a very good week for you guys. I hope you win the league on Saturday. And then you've got that sort of hangover going into Sunday of all your players celebrating winning the league, and then we can snatch something and win the cup and get a little bit of joy out of what has been a miserable season. But safe travels to all Birmingham fans who are going to the game on Sunday. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. If you're in the Birmingham end, stay there. And if there are any Birmingham fans in the posh end, then please just sit in your hands and be friendly. That's all we ask. And so, yeah, that's it really. Good luck for the game. Obviously, hope you don't win, but hope it's enjoyable. Hope it's a good game. The last 2 games between us and you have been fantastic. So let's hope for another one. And yeah, thank you for having me on.
Charlie from Up the Podcast, thank you for that, mate. That was very funny.
He spoke very, very well. But
first,
he had like 5 minutes of negativity and then predicted a Peterborough 3-1 win. But
first of all, Harry, not good. You should have died by the sword. Die on that hill. He's not fronted up, has he? Disappointing.
No, he's kept very quiet.
Disappointed. Charlie, I thought he spoke very well. So cheers for that, Charlie. Yeah. He's and nothing at the end as well. Please stay in your end, and if you're not staying in your end, please just sit on your hands. Be quiet. Fair play. So like you said, wasn't confident all the way through that, and then said, actually, we're going to beat you 3-1 though. And then I could actually understand his thinking for the scoreline in that,
and the way it goes with
like nicking a goal, nicking another one, and then us coming out getting one back, and then them hitting us on the break again. And do you know what? It's something that
he mentioned
perfectly feasible.
Yeah, he mentioned the pace and the size of the pitch, and that it's the first thing that
we've already mentioned it, haven't we? Earlier on.
That is my biggest concern, because I do wonder, but he sort of touched on it there. If we dominate the ball and control it and just try and limit the amount of I think they are going to get chances, and they probably will score. By the end of that, he was quite convincing, wasn't he? By the way, he sort of painted the picture of how the game might go, and I was just like, "Ooh, we might lose 3-1 to Peterborough." I'm starting to believe him. He painted a very good picture there, and a very you could believe it.
Realistic scenarios.
Yeah.
But I mean, and they have got some good players. I mean, Hector Cipriano, is it that their captain?
He came on last night, but he has been. I saw a couple of Peterborough fans mention how he'd been in really, really poor form lately. So
I quite rated him previously.
From what I've seen of him before, obviously, I think did he score against us? Or no, it's Fernando, wasn't it? But I quite like the look of him, actually, or at least I did. Apparently,
he might have scored against us in previous season, potentially.
But who was it? Was it the right back they had last night? He was pretty ropey, but I think he said that a few of those players aren't going to be able to play on Sunday. So yeah, they're still going to be dangerous, despite the fact they're in a poor run of form.
Well, one thing that he did mention there, and I didn't write a list of things to say, but I was going to say about bringing it up was the Poku thing, the celebration. Do you think there's anything in that celebration to suggest that there's anything going on there?
I
Me, it
mean,
was.
I don't think
I didn't
so. And
read
if
too
so,
much
then we
into it.
could get done for tapping up. But
I mean, he definitely didn't hold back, though, did he? Let's be honest. That shot wasn't the shot of a player that was trying to miss it.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't read anything into it. Now, I'm sure there probably is some interest there from us because there's interest from a number of championship sides. But the one thing for me is, does he fit in Chris Davis's plans for a team that has the work rate they do? Because that's the one thing that he doesn't seem to have. And whether this is Ferguson at Peterborough saying, you can go out and attack, look, as Eustace with Dembele, for example, you can go out and attack.
I think there's something quite similar about those two players, because I don't see. I've watched Poku a few times. He doesn't seem to me as someone that does the hard yards of the defensive side of the game. But
Definitely didn't last
what
night
was he?
either.
22, 23?
23, I think.
That can still be coached into. He can Davis is a good coach. We've got a good coach. We've spoken about how good that coaching setup is. Like, if he can learn to do that, then obviously, and still be effective going forward, he's going to be a really, really good player.
Yeah.
Now,
it's whether that is something that can be coached in, because do they have the discussion with him and say, this is what we expect from you, and you make a signing based on that? Is it that Ferguson has been saying to him, look, I don't expect you to do that side of the game, you be our attacking threat, which, as I said, then Eustace with Dembele,
which is
for
wild,
example,
because you normally have some form of solidity behind him, or someone that's going to make up for it, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So
they might just not have that player, though.
That's also true. I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean, I think we are interested. I think we have shown interest before, and there'd be no doubt that we're probably interested in now when it was technically not a free, because it'll be some form of tribunal, and I'm sure Peter would think they can get a decent amount for him, but I'm not sure what that will look like.
Right.
I'm open to it, because we're going to need wide players, aren't we? But,
well, and so I've had conversations today with people, and they've said about, we've probably lacked someone like that this season that's been able to really get at players and this, that, the other way that
we've had them. We just we don't play them,
and loaned them out to Belgian, like
second division
B teams or something. Yeah. But for me, it's clearly that they want the whole squad to buy into this work rate. This is what I expect from you. You're all going to do it. And I can understand why, because the minute that you say to someone, well, you haven't got to do that, then other people will start saying, well, why have I got to empty the tank and put everything into it when he gets a free pass for it, especially if they're not performing. So I completely get why you want that from every player. And I'm not sure that we will go that route. If we don't, it'll be because of that. But I'm sure that conversations will be had.
Yeah, those and that'll be the conversation with the player himself. Are you willing to do X, Y, and Z? And this is the thing about character as well, and willingness to learn and pick up parts of your game that you maybe haven't been used to doing, I guess.
You've had the freedom not to.
Yeah, so he'll be one of a number of players we look at. I'm sure there's interest there. So we'll see what happens. But so
Sunday, right? Before we get onto predictions, let's talk about the team, and then we've got some guest predictions. So, what do you go with? Allsop, no brainer.
Either him or him probably.
Brad Mayo.
Yes, yeah.
So, Allsop.
Back Yeah, I think the back four stays as is. I think there's probably some clamour
Timstead
for
at right back.
no, the normal back four. The normal back four,
You said as is.
not the otherwise
So
change. So
Ben Davis,
yeah,
Clara,
yeah,
Ethan
Laird
Laird,
and Cochrane.
Cochran.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not going to bring the Korean lad in for his first.
No, he
start
was
in the final,
enjoying
no.
the celebrations yesterday, but just getting involved. You might see him, I guess, after at some point. But yeah, Beck and Iwata, and then Dow definitely.
Dow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anderson definitely. That other spot is going to be between. Well, it's a potential that Taylor Gardner-Hickman plays in one of those wide positions now.
Possibly, because he's done it a few times, hasn't he? He has done. Wasn't that when Anderson was out injured, though? Has he played at the same time?
Technically, you could play him on the right, but I think because of his delivery from the left feels more dangerous. Anderson is probably more effective on the left, but he's also quite effective on the right. So I'm not sure we lose as much. You could even play Anderson in a 10, potentially with Dow to the right hand side, or tuck in Anderson and Dowell as the 2 10s, and then have Laird pushing forward.
Or Alfie May up top, Stansfield in one of the wide positions.
I don't know if I want to see that. I kind of want to have something. It sounds weird to say
to come off the bench.
Yeah, which sounds weird because if it works, then you won't need to bring something off the bench. You know, so it sounds weird saying that, but just in case, I don't know if I want. May deserves to start, I think, but he'll play Stansfield, won't he?
What about Willemsen?
For me, yeah, it's either between him and Harris or him and Taylor Gardner-Hickman. And it's just the way you set up with those three behind. I wouldn't play Willemsen. I wouldn't.
I don't think that he'd have played 90 minutes last night if he was going to be playing in the final. If I'm being honest, but as I said earlier, what he does offer in terms of work rate and being that front line of screen, it wouldn't surprise me if he does use him.
I think it won't be too far from the 11 that we've been seeing
the Barnsley game.
Yeah, mostly it's going to be very similar to that. I think there might be one or two changes from that. The thing that interests me the most is what the bench looks like, because Duke. Like do you include Juke, because you've now got a few more players back fit, which means he didn't even make the bench last night, which.
Dykes has binned his crutches and his cast as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that close. I think he might make it for the last 2 or 3 games of the season. But it would have been nice to see him. Obviously, he got us to Wembley. Essentially, well, sort of got us to Wembley. He scored the winner in the semi-final, at least. I mean, because Bielik's going to be back. Bielik will be on the bench. Does Hanley miss out from the bench? Would you say? Because you've got to try and make these faces, haven't you? Because I don't know what the bench is going to look like. I'm
7 subs, is there?
Yeah, there's no difference
it's the normal ones. I think, did we have this conversation last week? And Dave Googled it, didn't he? I think see, Davis doesn't strike me as one for sentiment.
No, he doesn't. But I don't know whether there's just telling.
40,000 people there that will be quite sentimental.
Yeah. Also quite annoyed if I don't know. Yeah, I guess
I think a lot of the squad would want Juke on the bench as well.
Well, you could drop Hanley, couldn't you, and then bring Juke in, because you've got Bielik on the bench. So
yeah,
I think it can work. Or just have no fucking goalkeeper. As I said earlier,
Taylor Gardner-Hickman in there.
Yeah, he could just be your backup goalkeeper, and then he can maybe like have some form of record at the end of the season where he's played in every single position in a
There you go, Chris
league-winning
Davis.
season.
There you go, Chris Davis. Another
record for you. You've played Taylor Gardner in every single position in the team this season.
Have another record. Happy days. Right. Should we get some guest predictions in, Dave?
Go for it.
Hope you're well. I am going for 2-0 Blues at the weekend. I think we are going to score early. Both goals in the first half. I'm going for a Water and Stano to end off probably one of the greatest weeks of being a Blues fan. Definitely in recent memory. Lift the cup. Win at Wembley. My God. Keep right on.
All right, boys, we are a few days out from Wembley now. It's getting exciting. And Chris has asked me for a prediction. I was correct, by the way, in my Peterborough prediction. I said 2-1. And tonight, Matthew, I'm going to go for 3-0. 3-0 to Moki Iwata, sealing the deal. Alfie May getting a goal. And a J Stansfield penalty, of course. Thank you very much. Love you.
Hello fellas, it's Lee from KRO Birmingham. Just landed in Birmingham. I'm at Birmingham Airport right now for the final on Sunday. I think it will be a high scoring game. I think Tuesday's game was a bit of a dress rehearsal. I think the score will be Birmingham 3, Peterborough 1. And I think Stansfield's going to score. See you at Wembley. Keep right on.
Hi guys, Ian Danter here. Well, I'll be there on Sunday at Wembley commentating on the game for TalkSport 2. Strictly neutral, I guess, but of course I want Blues to get it done and get the first half of the double secured. I think Peterborough, I mean, they've got a lot of players who would normally play but are cup-tied and therefore can't participate, and their best defender, Adoun, is suspended for violent conduct in a league game, so there are quite a few players down that would normally be selected, which in theory should play into Birmingham's hands. So let's go for a 2-0 win and a three-peat in the Football League trophy.
So thanks, Will Brazier, Brummy Joe, Lee Harris from KRO Birmingham, and Ian Dancer. And yeah, sorry, I was rushing to get that sent over to Dave after work today, and for some reason typed Ian Dancer instead of Brummy Joe. Apologies, Joe. I'll give you a cuddle to make up for it. People who are just listening
in
and
his
not
special dildo hat.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. I will make it up to you. But lots of positivity. Do you share it?
Now I'm over Charlie's scenario. I think I'm with Lee. I think I'm with Lee Harris. I think 3-1 feels, or maybe 3-1, 3-2. I'm gonna go 3-1. Feels solid. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 and scorer. It can be an anytime scorer, can't it?
Anytime scorer.
Yeah. I have.
You're not contemplating Juke, are you?
No. There's a couple of times yesterday when Pate came on when they just wanted him to just unleash a shot from the edge of the box, and he didn't. He went sighted. Mark Leonard would have had a fucking shot. He just went sideways a couple of times. I thought, I just have a shot. I feel like it should be like a Peck or Clara. It's got to be one of those two who've got to get on the score sheet. Cochrane scored yet?
I seem to remember him getting one, but I don't know if
in my head. Oh no, Lee Buchanan definitely had one, didn't he? Just remember that, really.
Yeah,
he's got a few assists.
This won't make a good podcast if we just sat here.
I'm gonna go Peck. Peck's gonna get one.
No goals
in the cup final. No goals. Yeah.
Maybe it was Buchanan that was thinking.
And Buchanan definitely had one, yeah. From that, with the corner routine thing that we've done a few times where Cochrane had keeper made a save or blasted it over.
So you're going 3-1 Cochrane. Did you say 3-1?
Yeah, 3-1.
Cochrane.
Peck. Yeah.
No.
I'm going to go for something different.
Oh. Dave?
I'm going slightly more optimistic. In fact, before that, looking at the chat, we've got a 5-3 prediction.
I have got a 5-3. Misa King.
I can see that. I can feel that. I can understand why you'd say that.
I mean, I'll settle for
as
it.
long as we're comfortable and it's like high scoring. I don't want like we go 3-3-0 and then they score 1, then we score 4, then they get to 2, and then if it's like that and there's a comfortable cushion, I'll be okay. I don't want the stress.
Would you settle going for 3-0 down? 3-0 down and then come back with 5?
I mean, obviously that would be amazing, but I don't want the stress.
Yeah.
I want a comfortable day out.
I don't want the stadium emptying.
No.
Which if we go 3-0, there's
It's be empty enough, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
I'm going 3-0, May.
I just can't see us giving a clean
sheet.
Or did I choose me?
I think you might have chosen.
It's a stupid rule. I think you should be able to just.
I chose Anderson.
No, you did choose. You chose Anderson, so you can choose Alfie May if you want.
So, yeah, I'm going 3-0, May.
And I'm going 4-0. I went with Alfie May yesterday. I'm going 4-0 because I go 4-0. I think that they're going to score, but I'm still going to go 4-0. But I'm going to go Water, and I'm going to say that he's been saving himself for Wembley, and that there's going to be an Iwata special at Wembley.
See that as well, yeah.
But I think that the big pitch, I can, like we've said, it can play into our hands, but I can see the pitfalls of it as well. I think we need to be very switched on. We mentioned before about how Clara likes to get higher up the pitch. And I think we need to be switched on to cover that and to drop in and to be very aware of their pace. We've just got to play it very smart.
We're not the quickest at the back either. We're not the quickest in general. There's not really. I think you've got Laird, and that's it. Because Cochrane's not particularly quick.
We said that at the start of the season, didn't we? That you've got to be at the level that we were signing players. You sacrifice that bit of pace to have someone that's very good on the ball and a very solid defender.
Unfortunately, Neumann is very, very quick, so that he'll add some much needed pace and physicality to the back line as well next
season. Would you want to have a look how our predictions have panned out so far?
Let's have a look.
Let's have a quick look.
It's very close at the top, isn't it? Is it Ian down to top? Ian down to second? Ian down to third?
We'll do that for next week. So we're almost equal now.
Yeah, we caught up a little bit on after that game in midweek. Right. I think we're done, aren't we?
I think so.
4 hours.
Everyone who's travelling around the world to get to London for Sunday, have a really safe journey, including you, Chewy, because I know that you're in there. Travelling all that, 40 minutes or something, is it?
It's from Belfast to Stansted, it's like an hour and 15, I think. It's a bit longer than.
Is that like Ryanair hour and 15 though, where you're actually flying for about half an hour?
It's EasyJet, but yeah, it's kind of similar. But I think the flight will be about 55 minutes. I think they normally say it's like an hour and 20, but it's not normally that long.
I hope you have a safe journey, mate. I hope everyone that's travelling from afar has a safe journey, and even do you know what? I hope everyone has a safe journey. I'm not hope someone has a really
even
journey.
Harry from the podcast. We hope you have a safe.
No, he can have a shit journey. Harry, I hope you get stuck in traffic all day, miss kickoff, get there just as we've scored our 4th goal. There you go, Harry. And I hope that Charlie's prediction is wrong. So
yeah, I do as well, because he's put the frighteners on me.
Right, everyone have a cracking weekend. Have a cracking day out. It's going to be Sunday, I imagine. Win, lose on the booze. Up the Blues. Until next time, keep right on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.